Yo, what is going on, fans and coaches of the ASL? My name is Sucher322 here, and I am bringing you guys yet another ASL Season 5 video. And I have for you guys the ASL Season 5 Week 3 weekly recap. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get on into it. And yeah, so starting out, we are going to have a 4-0, 6-0, 4-0, 3-0, 5-0, 1-0, and a 1-0. So let's waste no time to this and go ahead and hop into the first match. So for the first match, we have the Slow Bohemians taking on the Denver Nummels. TJ going up against the Master. And TJ does take this game 4-0, but let's go ahead and see how it plays out. We're going to see Tyranitar lead out against Rotom Heat. This is not really favoring each side because T-Star can get burned and Rotom can take a huge hit here. But TJ's he's gonna risk the burn and just get up his rocks. He's okay with that. As Shaman is going to come out here, Shaman can take any hit, and this does look to be a very bulky Tyranitar, possibly there just to swap into the Latios or Mega Latios, so probably a Spadaf variant. And Shaman is going to, unfortunately for the Master, miss the Leech Seed, but he's going to get on out of there, go out into Rotom. Does not want to take a huge Mega Horn from this thing. TJ going to go out into his Porygon, and Porygon is going to get tricked with the Choice Scarf. So very good plays on Demaster's part to really cripple this Porygon and just make it a pivot at this point. Mega T-Tar is going to come out on the Volt Switch. That honestly looks like Fizz Def damage to me, but I'm not too sure. And Blake is just going to go out right into his Hitmontop. He's going to go for the Rapid Spin, just get rid of those rocks. Essentially make turn 1 go the way of Demaster in the sense that rocks are no longer up. But Mew is now going to go for a Nasty Plot. And can potentially go for the Aura Sphere, but TJ is going to opt to actually just pass it into his Como, which is going to put on a tremendous amount of pressure. The Master is going to get off a Poison though, which is going to hinder this Como's ability to break through his team. Como is then going to set up the Totemize, but we're going to see a Snarl come through here, and this shows to be a bulletproof Como. Good prep on the Master's part, but he's got to let his Umbreon go down. Is going to go for the Protect. As Como goes for the Devastating Drake, is not going to kill this Shaman, obviously, due to the Protect. It is going to get some good damage, and Demaster is going to get very lucky getting a double Protect to save his Shaman's life. So we're at 5-5 right now. TJ is going to pressure this thing out to go into Rotom. He really doesn't care if this thing comes out because with the crit, it's going to be enough damage to take out this Rotom. It might have been enough damage either way, even without the crit. It depends on rolls. But the Mega T-Tar is going to come out on the Arrow. Arrow is going to get up rocks for Demaster, and then is going to go for an Aqua Tail. T-Tar wants rocks up, so we're going to have rocks on both sides, and Demaster is going to opt to get rid of this T-Tar. Sees it as a threat and wants to extinguish it. So Porygon 2 with the Choice Scarf, we know that, is going to come out here. Porygon 2 is going to go for a Toxic. Really confused why the Master actually went out into his Latios. He lost nothing by going Shaman, so it's extremely confusing to me why he did that, but you know, maybe it's something up his sleeve. So we're going to see the Escavalier come out, and that's going to do nothing. I'm going to go ahead and assume that this thing is AV. Demaster is going to predict it to go for a Pursuit, and just going to want to get some extra damage on this thing. And TJ is just going to go for the Iron Head in case something else wants to come out. And then it's going to fire up a huge Mega Horn, making that Leech Seed do nothing. Hitmontop is going to come out, and Mew can just come out, and TJ has put himself in a fantastic position by getting rid of that Mega Latios. And Mew can basically just win the game at this point. It's going to Nasty Plot up here. We'll see if it's going to attack or if it's going to Baton Pass. Crunch is not going to be able to kill, and Mew is just going to go for the Roost. So we'll see if another Crunch is enough to kill. It is not. The Psychic is going to kill the Mega, or not the Mega Arrow, but the Arrow, and then Hitmontop is going to come out. Is not living a +2 Psychic from a Mew. Bullet Punch does not pick up the kill, and down it goes. TJ, with a nice little Mew sweep at the end, is going to pick up a 4-0 victory over Demaster and the Denver Nummels. So, not 5-8. So for the next game, we have the Phoenix Flygons and the Aussie Kangaskhan's. And we're going to see a very dominant match by EN over Keister, getting a nice 6-0 as Deoxys Speed really putting on a show here, getting 3 kills. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So we're going to have Landorus, Therian, and Jirachi. Going to heavily favor the Landorus. unless Keister knows that he himself is scarfed. And Lando is going to go for the Earthquake, and this is max Fizz Def Kingdra. I know that from watching Ian's video because he said it, so go subscribe to Ian down below. If you aren't already, what are you doing? So we're going to see Roserade set up the T-Spikes here, and Jirachi is going to go for the U-turn as Incineroar comes out, just absolutely eats it up. Incineroar can fire off a huge hit on the Zapdos, so Keister's just going to U-turn on out, go out into his Kingdra. At this point, he's just trying to bait the Flare Blitz, but Ian is not going to fall for it, is going to go for the Flare Blitz, or is going to go for the knockoff, I mean, and get rid of this Rocky Helmet. So, the Kingdra does have the rest, so Keister is really trying to bring this Kingdra set home. He's going to get a Sleep Talk rest, which is unfortunate for him, because damage on this Roserade would be nice to pick it off with a Lopunny later in the game, but Keister's not looking too hot right now. He's got 2 layers of spikes set up on his side, along with a layer of T-Spikes. So Incineroar is going to get a nice knockoff into this big bird, get rid of its Rocky Helmet, so down goes 2 Rocky Helmets. Ian's going to make the aggressive swap out and do his Alola Ninetales, knowing that this thing is going to do something passive, whether it's Defog or whether it's to Roost. And he's just going to set up a Veil, very fair play, and now he can go Landorus if he wants on this thing, be very aggressive. He's going to see the U-turn come out here, and he's actually going to stay in, predicting this thing to be scarfed, and it's going to show that he is not scarfed, so interesting to say the least. But Entei is going to come out. Entei can take all these hits, and Ian is just going to scout for what it wants to do. And we're going to see that this is not Banded Entei, and very, very good set on Ian's part. This is really stalling out his team. We're going to see a disable so that the Incineroar gets a free swap in here, and out comes the Jirachi, and Jirachi has to go out into Zapdos to try and take this hit, and Ian is going to grab a lot of momentum going out into his Ninetales, so he could just fire off a Blizzard here, but I'm pretty sure he's only shown Freeze Dry up until this point. He's going to go for Freeze Dry, and Hail combined with the fact that he knows that he is faster, he's actually going to go for Protect here, going for the Inferno Overdrive. So I think that Ian might have forgot the fact that he was faster. I'm a little bit confused on that part. Maybe I'm missing something, but we're going to see Incineroar come out, get that nice Intimidate off. Sacred Fire, going to do nothing with that attack drop. And this Entei is put in a terrible spot where it has to stay in and just go for E-Speed, but Fake Out is going to out-prioritize it, and is going to go first. So Ian is up 6-4 at this point. Going on to his Roserade, since Zapdos is going to do absolutely nothing. To Roserade, it is a very specially defensive, especially bulky mon. Zapdos going to get a nice U-turn off into the PZ. Going to try and put on some pressure, but taking a huge Sludge Bomb is definitely not going to help this thing's case. Can only fire off 1 Tri-Attack, which is not going to be able to get rid of the Roserade. And Ian can get rid of the Porygon Z, which has been Keister's best mon so far. So Keister is going to have to go into the Mega Lopunny. Ian is going to try and preserve some differential at this point. Going on to the Lando. And Fake Out is, it's not going to do much, so Lando gets a free U-turn here. That should be his play, but he's actually going to go for a Superpower, okay. Fair enough. And then we will see the U-turn, okay. And he's going to go out into the Deoxys Speed, knowing that this thing is asleep. We're going to see a Sleep Talk rested again, so Keister's not getting lucky on these, but Deoxys is going to get a nice Psychic. I don't think the crit matters since it is a Fizz Def. It's a Fizz Def variant. And the Zapdos is going to go for the Hidden Power, just probably trying to predict the swap, but then Deoxys is going to go for a Psycho Boost, just get rid of that thing. There's no way this thing is living a Psychic, and the Fake Out is obviously not going to kill. So Deoxys Speed, Ian picked the perfect opportunity to go out and do it, and ultimately pick up a nice 6-0 on a 3-kill sweep by Deoxys Speed, and that is going to be the Aussie Kangaskhan's bouncing back after a Week 2 loss. So for the third match of the week, we have the London Lapras and the Utah Hoots. And one of the undefeated teams has fallen. Suzy is going to take his first loss of the season, as Cody is gonna have plenty of weekly heroes. He's gonna have Clefable as a weekly hero, and he's gonna have Mega Aggron as a weekly hero. Both picking up 3 kills. Let's go and see how they did it. So you have Ferroseed and Greninja here. Greninja's just going to go for the U-turn. Going to have to take some Iron Barbs damage. And then Suzy's just going to want to get up his rocks. Rhyperior does come out. And the knockoff is actually doing a decent amount of damage considering it's a Rhyperior. So Earthquake does good damage into the Reuniclus, and then Mega Horn is going to pick it off. So good bring on Susie's part to pack the Mega Horn. Ferroseed does come out. It has to be a little bit cautious of a Fire Punch here, but it can go for a Leech Seed and put this thing on a timer, especially if it does not have rest. So we'll see if it has Fire Punch here in a moment. But this Mega Aggron is just going to continually set up Curse. I don't understand what Susie's trying to do. I mean, I guess going for the Thunder Wave, but just stay on your Ferroseed. Okay, that's why. So now Susie's gonna have to work around this, get into something that can really kill it, and we're gonna see a Sleep Talk Curse again. So Cody is at +5/+5, and that Earthquake is gonna be doing just nothing, just absolutely nothing, and huge damage from the Mega Aggron, even with the Reflect up. And if Mega Aggron stays at a range where it can consistently just rest up, there's nothing that Susie can really do to get through this thing. And we're gonna see a Earthquake. It's not gonna be able to kill, and Leech Seed is really keeping this Rhyperior alive at this point. Cody's just got to get lucky. That's not the case so far. Susie needs 2 more bad Sleep Talk rolls, but Aggron is gonna wake up and go back to sleep. And now Susie just needs a Sleep Talk Rest here, or a Sleep Talk Curse, and he'll be okay, and his Rhyperior can live another day. But the Earthquake is going to come out, so we're going to tie it up at 5/5 here. Klefki is going to just set up the Reflect again, just help out Susie. That Earthquake is going to do a tremendous amount of damage, and things are looking very grim for Susie at this point. Aggron is going to wake up, go for the Earthquake. Ferroseed can eat it up, however. And Ferroseed can eat another one, can just go for Gyro Ball, does exactly 1% due to this Mega Aggron being at -5 defense. I don't really get what Susie is trying to do here. Go for your 4th move, it's likely more effective than this Gyro Ball. We're going to see the Aggron finally get to +6/+6. So a Bartolo Cologne, big sexy up there. And we'll see if this the Venusaur is gonna live 1 hit. Okay, so yeah, this basically the game comes down to whether Cody can get lucky with Sleep Talk rolls, and we'll see if Susie can actually get through this thing. And Klefki is gonna come back out. Is gonna want to set up the Reflect, and Susie is gonna fortunately get to do that. This is a lot of just fluff, so I'm gonna get through this. So the Klefki does go down eventually, and Haxorus is sent out to come in and put in the hurt. We're going to see a big crit there. That crit is extremely important because while Haxorus does go down, it puts this Aggron in a range to die. So to be honest, it was going to happen at some point. Cody knows that it was going to happen at some point. That's what you do when you're healing up and you're setting up. You're bound to be crit. That's the rule of thumb. So Cody's bringing all the setup this week, and he's gonna bring a Cosmic Power Clef. And man, he did not let Susie prosper in this match in the slightest. So I really don't see a way that Susie gets out of this thing alive, bar another crit. And yeah, Stored Power plus Moonblast should pick up this game for Cody. We're gonna see Cosmic Power up again. It's +4/+4, and yeah, this is looking bad for Susie. The Stored Power does about 160 base power at this point, I think. That's damage, and of course the Magic Guard is going to negate the Leech Seed, so there's no point for Susie actually going for that. Another Gyro Ball, you know, just do what you can, I guess. And we'll just skip through this because you guys already know the outcome of the game. Obviously, you're not going to flinch it that many times. And that is going to be the game. London Lappers taking a 4-0 victory over the Utah Hoots. So then we are going to have the Arcane Arcanines and the Houston Hoopas. I'm going to reload this because I don't know why AZ's sprite isn't showing up. So, one moment please. There we go. Perfecto. So, in this match, we are going to have Ian and the Arcane Arcanines taking on the Houston Hoopas and AZ. A big game for Ian. He can really ride their own momentum off of the game over EN. and AZ can really make a statement by winning this game. We're going to see Ian take a nice victory, and the last time Ian had success in the ASL was using a team extremely similar to this, so maybe Ian should just draft this kind of team every single year. Either way, we're going to see Rotom take on the Passimians. So we're going to see Mantine come out here. AZ does not want to take something like a knockoff. Just going to go into his Mantine to take it. Obviously, Hutch the Clutch, being like a runner-up MVP in Season 3, come on back again. I'm just going to swallow up that Scald, and then out comes the Bulu to try and put on the pressure. And Ian is actually packing the HP Poison, so fantastic play. That's a very good play. And we're going to see Ian go out into his Mega Scizor, put on a lot of pressure with that U-turn. That U-turn does tremendous amount of damage. It is physically defensive Mantine from what I'm seeing. And then Finny is just going to basically negate the damage from that thing with his leftovers. Finny does go for the taunt just to prevent the roost, and Ian is playing fantastic at this point. Rotom is going to take a Moonblast. It looks to be offensive to me, but we're going to see Pain Split, so maybe it's like offensive with Pain Split. I think that's the thing. But Ian is just going to fire off the Devastating Drake. Does not want to look at this Rotom any longer. Mantine is going to take a Poison Jab here, obviously intended for the Bulu. I mean, even if it wasn't a poison, that's still killing. So Ian has no reason not to go for the Poison Jab again. It covers the potential Bulu swap on the predicted Dragon type move. And Ian is just going to fire off an Outrage. He does not care. He's just going to get this thing weakened, which is honestly best case scenario for Ian because he puts the arrow in a bad spot, and his Garchomp is going to get 2-turn Outrage. So he's going to be able to swap out. And not wanting to take an Earthquake, AZ is going to go out into his Latios. And then Latios is going to go for a Dragon Pulse. So apparently this Latios is slower because we see the Garchomp get hit with Confusion. But the Drapion can just swallow this thing up. I'm going to assume it's a Assault Vest. Assault Vest Drapion is very, very popular. So we're going to see this thing go for a Roost, and Ian is packing the Rock Tomb. So he's going to be slowing this thing down, which is going to be very beneficial to him. So the arrow can no longer, like, it can't repeatedly remove its flying typing. So the Drapion is going to go for Aqua Tail, get a little bit of damage, and AZ just wants to pivot around, you know, give his Mons some grassy terrain. Ian is just going to go out into his Garchomp, possibly predicting the rocks, I would think, because Garchomp was still pretty good in the match. But that's going to be a play that's going to maybe come back to bite him. But we're going to see Passimian go for the Rock Tomb, going to slow this thing down, then can follow with a huge knockoff, as AZ wants to go for a Calm Mind. So not the right turn for that, my friend. As out comes the Mega Scizor, I'm going to assume this is Speedy Scizor just to coincide with the multiple Rock Tombs, which is actually ingenious by Ian. But Ian is going to make a double as AZ just probably wants to fire off. Okay, so he's actually going to fire off a Solar Beam here. Whipping out the Power Herb. So very, very good prediction if he was predicting the Finny. Absolutely fantastic. He's going to get a Magma Storm here. Trap it in. And then another Magma Storm will be able to pick this thing off. But it's going to have to take a serve in the process. But he's actually going to have Rocks. So I guess he doesn't care if his Heat Train goes down. But I guess he can go to Bulu. So pretty good plays by AZ, getting the most bang for his buck there. And he's going to go for the Horn Leech, getting rid of the top of Finny. And his Bulu is going to be sitting very low, though. Yeah, Mega Scizor is looking tremendously scary at this point. It's going to be able to kill a lot of things. As it's going to get a nice little kill there. And Latios is going to come out, Compressor with the HP Fire. AZ's just going to go for a Calm Mind here. He's going to take a Rock Tomb, and he's going to play this very risky. He's going to get a Dragon Pulse off, and I'm pretty sure he'd swap out here. He's actually going to stay in. Okay, so it's because he's already lost his item. He's just going to decide to stay in here. But I'm pretty sure with the speed drop that the Scizor outspeeds. He's going to go for a knockoff. It covers the Heat Train swap in. And I don't think Ian's afraid of the HP Fire any longer. We're going to see Recover. I don't think he's afraid of it. And he's going to go for a big U-turn, nice and 66%. As the Minior can come out. Minior can set up a Shell Smash, obviously. Very, very questionable play, in my opinion, by AZ going for the Recover. When there's a Minior sitting in your face, there's one thing that it does, and that's set up. And he's going to pay the price for it because now the Minior is going to outspeed everything. It's going to out-offense this Latios. Now it's going to go into its offensive form. And Minior is just going to be able to pick up a nice little kill on to this Mega Aerodactyl, and with a nice little Minior sweep at the end, Garchomp and Scizor putting on a tremendous amount of pressure. Ian is going to take a 3-0 victory over the Houston Hoopas. Then for a nice little upset in the week, we're going to have TCP in the Hartford Whalers and St. Louis Samurai by Brad. Again, don't know why this the logos aren't showing up. I guess I'll just refresh it for you guys, give you guys a little bit of backstory. So the interesting thing about this match is this was the semifinals match. This was one of the semifinals matches of last season, and now they're both 1 and 2. Very, very interesting stuff. But TCP put on the pressure with Zygarde, and let's see how he went ahead and got it done. We're gonna see Musharna lead out against the Mamoswine, so this does look to be a FizzDef. FizzDef Musharna just trying to stall down the Mamoswine with Toxic Stall, and then it's gonna go for a barrier. So barrier is gonna make it so Musharna can only be really killed by a physical threat through a crit. And not wanting to take a adaptability Draco, gonna go out into the Registeel, which Registeel walls this thing, bar a Focus Blast, and then Registeel can go for an Earthquake. Very unfortunate for Anderson that this thing did crit with the Earthquake, but then Mamoswine can get a big Earthquake back. And Mamoswine is already being weakened, so Musharna already paying dividends with the Toxic. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water, but Mincino is going to go for the U-turn on the Decidueye. Out comes Regirock. He's going to risk a Willow here, but Anderson playing no games, going to go for the Gunk Shot here. I'm a little curious what he has Gunk Shot for, likely the Aromatisse. But TCP did not opt to bring it, so we're going to see Scald from Dragalge. Maybe fishing for a burn at this point, not a bad strategy. Going to go for a Sludge Wave, does decent amount. And then Decidueye can go for a Roost. But it's going to be Toxic, and Anderson is going to be trying a little bit of Toxic Stall himself. He's going to Dragon Tail out the Registeel, so he's going to pick the right turn to Dragon Tail out. And the Scald is going to be fishing for a burn again. Again, does not get it. And Reggie can go for an Earthquake, but that actually does nothing. Registeel is a very passive mon. And again, going to be fishing for that burn, because if Anderson gets the burn, it's going to be a little bit easier to play around this Registeel. So Tangrowth is going to come out. Mr. Oodles and Noodles. And Registeel does go for the Earthquake. It's going to do obviously nothing. And Anderson is going to double out into his Dragalge. Yeah, probably predicting this. Yeah, that would make sense. And then he's just going to get some decent damage. And then TCP will be able to kill him with the Spirit Shackle. So we're going to break our 6-6 tie, go into a 6-5 right now. And Cincino can come in, go for a knockoff, and bring that tie right back to 5-5. But Beedrill comes out, and Beedrill just clicks U-turn. Nothing else to really think about here. Just going to click the U-turn, but it's actually going to go for a Poison Jab. So interesting stuff there. Maybe doesn't want to swap out just yet, since it puts on a lot of pressure on the next coming in Mon. But this Mega Bayonet does have the Pursuit, so very, very good design set on Anderson's part. As next time Beedrill comes in, it will be revenged by either Pursuit or a Shadow Sneak. So Mencino is going to go for the U-turn, as out comes Delphox, which is going to be Toxic here. And Zygarde is going to come out. And Anderson is going to go for the Z Sunny Day, so trying to just win the game outright right here. He's going to just basically be forced to stay in. I mean, there's nothing really else that the Delphox would be doing in the game. And the Zygarde is going to Toxic, so very good set to beat the counter in Tangrowth. And going to Thousand Waves the Tangrowth in. And that Yachi Berry with the HP Ice is going to be doing nothing. So a bulky Zygarde designed to trap. And we're going to likely see a Roost here, but we're going to actually see or not a Roost, but a Rest. But a Camouflage here, so not a bad play. Going to prevent that HP Ice from doing anything else. Okay, so there is the Rest. So a very good design set by TCP. Zygarde is often a mon that can really trap things. And TCP is really showcasing that right now. Zygarde is going to be fast asleep, He's sleeping, but this Tangrowth is going to be severely weakened. Going to be taking a third of his health from that. There's nothing Anderson can do but just sit here and click on the Giga Drain. And Zygarde is going to be able to wake up and is going to go for the rest. And with this vicious cycle, Tangrowth is going to be absolutely decimated here in a minute. And we're going to see 43%. This is going to be a much longer weekly recap because we do have some more games to get through. I'm just going to skip through a little bit of this because this is just kind of... Okay, it should die this turn, right? Yes, it does die. So, TCP using the Toxic Stall very effectively. Going to go for 1,000 waves, gets rid of this thing. So the Leech Seed cannot come off, and then going to want to go out into the Registeel likely, but actually goes to Masharna just to preserve the 5-0, as eventually U-turn not going to be enough. We're going to just see some Moonlights up, and then Masharna can go for a Psy Shock and eventually get rid of this Cinccino. Yeah, Cinccino. Cinccino's the Evo. Yeah. So we're going to see very interesting records coming out of week 3. 1 and 2 St. Louis Samurats and the 1 and 2 Hartford Whalmers. And then talk about an upset. We're going to see the PC Barcelona go head to head with the Portland Timbers and take a very big upset for Shadow. No weekly heroes in this game, but this is a tremendous game nonetheless. Let's go ahead and hop into it. We're going to see Electivire out against Victini. And Electivire is going to swap out into the Slowbro as Victini is just going to U-turn. So pretty standard plays, what you'd expect. Celesteela is going to come out, and the Slowbro is going to yawn just in case the thing wants to set up and Totemize. And he's going to go out into Togetic as I just go into my Electivire. Electivire is going to go for a Volt Switch, so Shadow going to make a very bold play predicting me to Volt Switch. So very good play on his part, and he's going to get the initiative to Baton Pass out here. So Fortress is going to come out on the Druddigon. And I'm just going to Rapid Spin, keep the rocks away from my Zard. And then Selly is going to go for the Leech Seed as Zard does come out here. Zard is going to go for the Flamethrower and is going to crit. It only crit. The crit only matters if he's like max specially defensive, max HP. So Shadow is going to try and call my bluff again. Not going to happen. And Keldeo is going to do a lot with that crit from Icy Wind, and 2 more will be able to pick up the kill. Another crit, so Keldeo is apparently running Scope Lens. It's not its expert belt, but, you know. Mungus is going to go right for the Sludge Bomb here as this Araquanid, very good design set. Shadow's brought this a lot, and it's going to put in some work right here. We're going to see Stockpile from Araquanid. And Fortress is just going to Volt Switch on out of there. It does not want to sit in the face of something that's setting up. An Electivire is going to come out. It's going to just Volt Switch out back into the Fortress, trying to bait, or going out into Slowbro, trying to bait like a Liquidation. That's going to be the case. Going to be a nice defense drop, but the Regen Core is going to get the damage right off the Slowbro. Going to go out into the Fortress, trying to bait maybe a Leech Life. Get some Rocky Helmet damage, and Shadow's in a very good spot right now. He's doesn't have the lead in terms of Mons, but this Araquanid is putting in a lot of work. We're going to see another defense drop on Liquidation, so like 20%. Okay, and Liquidation again is not going to get the defense drop this time, and Slowbro is going to try and put this thing to sleep with a Yawn. So Fortress is going to come out again, trying to bait the attack just to get the Rocky Helmet damage off. And Shadow is going to get a nice lucky Liquidation, which otherwise I would have been able to get up my rocks, which would have been fantastic moving forward. But this Electivire is going to go for the Thunder Punch, and the Araquanid stays sleeping and goes for the Stockpile, so very lucky on my part. Otherwise, Keldeo would have been able to revenge it anyways. So Shadow's just going to sack off his Druddigon, just wants to get the Rough Skin Rocky Helmet, fair enough. And Electivire is going to get its first kill of the match. And then Victini can come out, goes for the Zen Headbutt. Interesting that he has it. But either way, we're going to see Togetic take a nice Psyshock here. And then Togetic is going to just roost up. And this Togetic is proving to be a pain in my side. and the Mega Char Y is gonna come out since this thing cannot really do anything to me. He's gonna go for the Toxic though, which is pretty annoying. Gonna go for the workup here just to hit a little bit harder. And the Togetic is going to be eventually able to stall out the Zard. Gonna do nice 67, so another one will come through, do really good damage, but it's just not enough. Togetic is too bulky with that Eviolite. Nerf Togetic. And then Amoonguss is going to come out. That's going to bait the Araquanid to come back out. I almost doubled into Electivire here. But Shadow is going to just try and go for that nice Sleep Talk. Or actually, he doesn't go for Sleep Talk, so he must have misremembered the Sleep Talk turns. So we're going to see the Keldeo pick up the kill with the Stone Edge. And then Togetic, just being in a nuisance, is going to Baton Pass out into Swellow, and Swellow's going to put on a lot of work right now. He's going to go for a Facade, does 49% to this Slowbro. And Amoonguss going to come out. Amoonguss does not take the Facade, and Swellow is just going to rip the team to shreds. So Electivire is going to come out, basically show that it is Choice Scarfed. Otherwise, there's no reason for me to go out and do it, unless I'm trying to bait. But Slowbro going to come out here. Slowbro is going to take a Toxic, then is going to yawn the Togetic, basically forcing Shadow out, and he's going to Baton Pass out into his Swellow. So I'm going to get some nice damage off on this Swellow, as he's also going to take some Burn, going to take some Toxic, and this end game is getting down to the absolute wire, and no Burn on the Togetic. Going to be very unfortunate. So Electivire is going to come out, as Shadow does not opt to go for an attack. And Electivire can go for Thunder Punch, doing 65%. And whatever comes in is going to take a big Thunder Punch. So Shadow's actually just going to sack off his Togetic here. And Swellow is going to come out. And Swellow does go for the Quick Attack, as the Slowbro is going to come out. And Slowbro can live a hit. Slowbro's going to get some nice damage on this Victini, 57%. But then Victini can just go for a Bolt Strike. Gotta sack off the Keldeo, since Slowbro is the only thing that can really live a hit from Swellow at this point. And we'll see if it's going to be able to live the hit. So Bolt Strike is going to do 43%. Scald is going to do 43. And this is a roll, whether Slowbro lives or not. It's not a roll in my favor. And Shadow is going to pick up a nice 1-0 victory. Shadow playing absolutely out of his mind in this match. He played fantastic, better than I've ever seen him play before. And congrats, Shadow, on that nice 1-0 victory. So for the last match that I have for you guys, we have a 1-0, very close. And what did I tell you guys? Cam would be soaring this season. He's already at 2-1 after taking this nice 1-0 victory over Malone. And Malone will find his footing at some point, but this week is not that week. And let's just hop into it. So we got Jellicent. This is already at 33 minutes. So Jellicent is going to go for a Protect, as just trying to scout what this Rotom wants to do. Cam going to go out and do his Nihilego. Obviously, very high special defense stat. Is going to take little to no damage from this. Hariyama is going to go for the knockoff, get rid of Jellicent's lefties. And then Jellicent is going to go for the Recover, as Floor just goes for the Wish. And Jelly is going to Scald. It's not going to get a burn. And Malone is just going to go out and do his Rotom. Cam is going to make a nice double out into his Sneasel. And then Sneasel is going to go for a big crash, do an 80% on a crit. Malone just wants to swap out, and Cam is making all the right doubles at this point. Really holding the momentum right now. And Bronzong is going to get off a nice Toxic, but a huge Hex is going to come through since that Bronzong is burned. And then Cam is going to be able to get rid of it, but Malone does get up his rocks in the process. So really only going to be truly hurting the Sneasel, but it's going to prevent pivoting from something like Scizor, like a ton of pivoting. And then Rotom is just going to Volt Switch, get out to the AV Hariyama, help Malone build the Hariyama and the Talonflame set because they're so good against Cam. So this is AV Hariyama. As you're going to see from that damage, just absolutely nothing. A really risky play and a really questionable play for Cam to actually go for the Scald there, because if this is Guts Hariyama, which I'm pretty sure it was, then that's going to do a whole lot to his team. But the Psychic special defense drop, since Cam gets it, he just wants to stay in here and fire off another Psychic. I mean, why the heck not? We're going to see Scizor Scizor is just gonna go for nothing actually, because it's gonna be a double swap in, and Malone is gonna make a nice double out into his Hariyama. I like it. And then Scizor comes out, and Malone just wants to get rid of this thing. Leftovers, go for a nice knockoff. That could follow up with a big close combat, doing 53%. So we'll see. Malone is not going to stay in, as the Scizor is going to come out, but Scizor has got to swap out. Doesn't want to take a Flare Blitz from this thing, and then Malone is going to go for the Supersonic Sky Strike, killing the Latios. So Malone at a very big advantage at this point, but not wanting to take a hit from this Nihilego. Malone is going to swap out, but then Cam is going to trade his Nihilego to get up rocks, because he understands how big of a threat Kyurem and Talonflame are at this point. If he can get rid of those, he has a really clear path to victory. And, you know, flinching obviously helps, so that's going to be big. And Cam is going to be able to get rid of that thing. He's going to flinch the Kyurem as well. So, yeah. And we'll see. The Rotom is going to be Scarfed and is going to Volt Switch. So I'm really curious why Malone didn't go out into this earlier. I mean, you're not risking flinches and you get a free Volt Switch out into Kyurem anyway. So I truly don't understand that play. But Scizor is going to kill that thing. And then Talonflame is obviously going to eat up a hit. It could go for a Roost. And it's going to go for a Willow. I don't understand that play, but okay. We're going to see a Willow, so both of Cam's team members are burned at this point. And before Malone can swap out, he's got to get this thing healed back up. We're going to see another flinch, which is just, oh my god. Just, this match is hard because Malone is making, he made a questionable swap. He could have gone to Rotom a lot sooner and could have prevented the hurt onto his Kyurem. So that part's on him, but still Cam flinches is just decimating Malone. So it's a lot of just absolute hacks and then a bit of misplaying. But yeah, Cam is going to pick up a nice 1-0 victory. And Malone's just going to forfeit, really no point. And Scizor does get that last kill. And there is going to be a winning record for Cam. He already has more wins this season than he did last season. So congrats, my guy. And yeah, so with that, that'll wrap up the video. Almost a 40-minute video. Thank you guys all for watching the Season 5 Week 3 weekly recap. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And for the next video, we will have top plays coming at you guys on Friday. And yeah, thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.